to my channel. So this video has been so highly requested. I mean, there's been so many comments on other videos for me to do this. So here it finally is. So I bought my dad got me the Marc Jacobs primer. This is the Coconut Invisible Undercover Perfecting Face Primer, and it's the coconut primer. And I also got the ReMarcable foundation, full coverage foundation by Marc Jacobs. I also purchased the Marc Jacobs The Face number 3 brush. So all 3 Marc Jacobs products I am reviewing for you in this video. I will leave all of the products that I'm mentioning down below in the description box, as well as a link to where you can get them from, and also the price as well. I believe I got it in American dollars, but you can now get it from Harrods too. So you can also get it in pounds. Harrods, I'm not sure, they must ship worldwide. I think they do, but Sephora definitely do ship worldwide, so you can get it anywhere. I do also have a demo throughout the video, so just keep your eyes peeled for that. But I'm going to start off by speaking about the primer. I have to say that this is such a really beautiful light primer that just blends into the skin beautifully. It just doesn't take long to soak in. You don't have to kind of like massage it into the skin for too long. It kind of just does its thing, and you feel so refreshed immediately because it gives that little kick of coconut, and to top it off, it has a really gorgeous smell. Anything with coconut on it has my name all over it. So yeah, I was completely sold even when I just saw it, but since trying it, I absolutely love it. I have tried it with a few other foundations, and I think it works just as beautifully with other foundations as well as this Marc Jacobs one. I would say that if you have more of a drier skin, normal skin, or dehydrated skin, then this primer is going to work wonders for you. It's just going to give your skin that kick of hydration that it needs right before you apply your makeup, as well as hold your makeup on all day. If you do have oilier skin, then I also think that this is going to work for you too. I always think just because you've got oily skin, it doesn't mean that you should completely go oil free with everything. Your skin still needs that hydration. So if you're going to get it from a really nice and lightweight primer, then go ahead and do that. Especially if you're using a super matte foundation, then I would definitely highly recommend using a primer like this to give your skin that kind of nourishment and hydration before you apply your foundation. If you're going to apply a super dewy foundation, then this is going to add to that dewiness, but underneath a really matte foundation, it's not going to make your foundation any less matte. It's just, like I said, going to give your skin that hydration that it needs. Moving on to the foundation, I believe this is one of their newer foundations, and like I mentioned before, it's the ReMarcable Full Coverage Foundation. I love absolutely anything that says full coverage, and I like to test anything that says full coverage because sometimes it's not really full coverage. So yeah, this foundation obviously does claim to be that, and I must say it honestly really is full coverage. A little bit honestly goes the longest way, and you'll be able to see that from my demo where I've kind of gone in with a smaller amount and then I've built it up with another layer, and I think that's the best way to apply this foundation. I have made the mistake of applying a bit too much of it on my face at one time and then having to buff it and blend it out, and yeah, it was a lot. I mean, the coverage and like the finish was amazing, but it's just a bit too much. So I definitely recommend going in with smaller amounts around the face and then buffing and blending it out and building it up where you feel like you need a bit more coverage instead of going all in all over the face, because then it can look a little bit too much, especially for an everyday look. So this foundation, as you can see, the packaging is absolutely gorgeous, both for the primer and the foundation. They look so high-end, and which they are, so I absolutely love that. And the foundation, the primer has a pump, whereas the foundation comes with, it's like a dropper, but I don't see the dropper ever working. So it comes like this, and you just unscrew it, and it has like that whole dropper thing. You don't actually, there's no actual like pipette thing where you can get the droplets out, if you know what I mean. A lot of people don't like the foundation this way and they would much prefer a pump, but in all honesty, I think Marc Jacobs have done the right thing by giving it a dropper, just because you have, like I said, more control of how much you are applying. If you were to have a pump of this, like any other normal foundation, then you would be wearing a lot of foundation or you'd be wasting a lot. So by this, you're able to control how much you are applying around the face, and I actually quite prefer it. It can be a little bit messy, but it's not too bad. So far, I haven't had many issues with it whatsoever. I got this in the shade 52 Honey Light, and at first I thought the foundation was very, very orange, but I must say, you know, once you've got the rest of your makeup on, you've highlighted, contoured, and even when it's just normally on without any of that stuff, I do find that this is a really great match, and it's kind of on par with the MAC NC42, and that's kind of what I wanted to go with because that is my MAC shade. So yeah, it's really got a great amount of warmth in it. So if you are of an Asian skin tone or a warmer skin tone, I would definitely look into getting the Marc Jacobs foundations, just because they have, like, there's not any of that grey or ashy undertone, which you know is very, very important. So yeah, I love that there's so much warmth in there and I don't need to apply too many products. I haven't even needed to conceal anywhere today, just because it is so full coverage. It is a bit of a pricey foundation, but you get what you pay for, first of all, I feel, and second of all, like I said before, a little bit of it really does go a long way. So I see this foundation lasting me for a very, very long time. So I believe it is well worth the money. I find that this foundation works amazingly well with the primer, just because the foundation itself, it's very, very matte. It is, not only is it super full coverage, it is matte. So if you have a very oily skin, I feel like this foundation is really, really going to do wonders for you. I have gone a full day of wearing this, literally from morning to evening, night out, next day kind of thing, like till 3, 4 in the morning, and it has stayed put. I didn't need to touch it up whatsoever. So it's just such a good long-lasting foundation, whether you have oily skin, dry skin, normal skin. If you do have a dry skin, definitely get the primer, or use any other primer that you feel is going to give you that nourishment and hydration. Although I do sometimes get a bit of an oily T-zone and my skin is generally quite normal, I still feel like I need to use more of a nourishing or a dew primer beforehand, just to kind of balance out the skin. I think if you go in with a super matte primer and an oil-free primer and then go in with this foundation, it's just going to look very heavy, very cakey and dry, and you don't want to do that. You still want your skin to look flawless but like skin. So yeah, I would definitely get the balance right, and yeah, it's really, really important to use the right products before you use this foundation. As you can see from my demo, I have used the Marc Jacobs The Face 3 foundation brush. Mine's a little bit dirty because I have used it, but honestly, as you can see from my demo, it really does buff in this foundation like nothing else. My favorite way to apply this foundation is with this Marc Jacobs brush, just because it's really, really dense, it's super soft, it buffs in your foundation, so it gives you that skin-like look, flawless, but skin-like look, without picking up too much of the product. So I really, really like it for that reason. If I don't have this on hand with me, then my other favorite way to apply this foundation is by using a damp beauty blender, just because it's gonna blend anything like a dream. So yeah, if you don't have this brush, I would definitely use that. I haven't really tried any other foundation brushes. Maybe I would use the buffing brush by Real Techniques, but again, I think it's just a bit too fluffy and you need something a little bit more dense with this foundation. So yeah, it's such a gorgeous brush, and I have used it with other foundations too, and again, it just works an absolute dream. I believe the hairs on this are synthetic, but I can confirm that and leave it down below in the description box. Overall, I must say I am super impressed. I've had so many compliments when I have been wearing this foundation. It's just it's amazing, honestly. And I know it is a little bit pricey, but like I said before, you do get what you pay for, and it will last me a hell of a long time just because I'm not using that much and you're just using small amounts. So yeah, I really hope you enjoyed this review and demo. I feel like I whizzed through that, but if I have got anything else to say, I'll leave it down below in the description box, but I believe that is it. So overall, it's a thumbs up from me for all 3 products in this review. If you would like me to do any other reviews or demos, whether it's more high-end products, drugstore, anything else, then please do comment down below and leave them there for me. Give this video a thumbs up if you liked it, and I can't believe I've finally done this video. And subscribe if you haven't already, and also make sure you're following me on Twitter, Snapchat, Instagram, and everything else. So yeah, I'll leave that all down below for you. Thank you so much for watching, and I'll see you all in my next video. Mwah. Bye!